Welcome back, y'all.
You want to tighten that, or did you tighten it?
Oh, I mean, we'll be fine. If I move it again and it falls off, it's just because I have incredible strength.
Yeah. Like the Northman.
Like the North.
Like no, it's not Athelstan. What the fuck is his name? That's how bad it was. I forgot his name.
No, hold on. Let's start with this. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Heavens Demons podcast. Please comment, like, subscribe, share with 5 friends. Subscribe, unsubscribe,
I almost
subscribe
said
again.
follow, but you already said. I forget that.
Follow.
It's been 3 weeks since we've done this.
Yes.
So I forgot that. Yeah.
It's all jumbo.
Much needed vacation.
Welcome to this episode 39. I am one of your hosts, Arturo.
I'm the other host, Adam.
And we're here to blab about
important shit and shit that's not important.
Yeah, a good mix of the two. Because there's pressing matters that we need to talk about. One of them is a fucking Northman.
Look, I've been on a Vikings kick, obviously, for a while. I would say a while for me watching shows is probably like a month, just because I watch them so fast. But that movie could have done like with just I don't want to say better acting, because I don't know if it was the acting or if it was the writing.
Bro, I don't know. But even okay, how about this? Even if it was better acting, I don't know if that could have made it better. And even if it was better writing, I don't know how much more ways they could have gone with it.
Yeah, well, it's because it's not loosely based. It's a little bit dramatized for a movie, but there is a story about him. Like that is his story.
Yeah.
It's just they made it into a movie, and I'm like, fuck, this is such a great story, but god damn, there's no reason why. The budget was $90 million.
That cost $90 million to make.
That cost $90 million to make. I looked while I went to take a piss. I was like, what's it rated? And I saw the fucking budget was 80 to 90 million, and it had an 80.
If you told me it was 10 million, I would have believed you.
Well, I think it costs a lot of money to get all that fucking equipment to shoot in Iceland.
Yeah, okay, that's probably half the budget.
Yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, dude, like I think with better writing, it could have been better. Like at least give your great actors a chance. Like there's only so much they could do, and it wasn't I was a little bit dramatic when I said it was probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but it was pretty bad for how much that budget was, and the potential of that story was like the fucking dude that his dad's murdered by his brother. It's basically the Lion King for white people, and
it's for savages.
It's the Lion King for white people. His dad died. He ran off, faked his identity so his uncle wouldn't kill him. The uncle's now fucking his mom, and fucking yeah, dude. And then he turns into an NBA YoungBoy fan, and he just walks around angry everywhere.
I've said this multiple times, guys. Toxic masculinity is terrible for your posture, and that movie was the prime example.
There's a trend.
Prime example.
There's a trend now called "I Can't Stop Doing the Northman," and it's just standing like this.
When I say like this is how he was 90% of the movie, that might not be high enough percentage.
So when I of course watched the YouTube little documentary that somebody made about that character, he pretended to be like that he had a traumatic mental episode that made him slow, so his uncle wouldn't kill him. So he pretended to be that way, and that's how he got around until he was old enough and strong enough to fight his uncle.
Yeah.
And so like that's how him pretending to be a simpleton saved his life. So they kind of, without saying that in the movie, that's what he did.
I just laugh, bro, because okay, he snuck his way back to try and like avenge his father. He's gonna go take on his uncle,
and all he did was cut his fucking hair.
All he did was cut his hair, and nobody.
He's still 6'4".
Wait, hold on. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna cut my hair. I'm gonna slouch a little bit, and I'm gonna blend in with the common folk. He is 6'4", about 230, of solid muscle and rage, and he's like, I'm just gonna brand myself, and I'm just gonna fit in. Hey, they'll never see this.
Amongst a bunch of brittle slaves, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm one of them." It's like, bro, you're clearly a Viking.
Yeah, though, you're not fooling anybody here. You're the same size.
These other people, they're just white. You're a Viking, and he's just like, just fucking blank staring down. It's like,
that's what a Viking would do.
Yeah, what a Viking would do, because and also like when they were in that Viking boat.
Yeah.
They're called berserk. He's called a berserker. Yeah, because he's the biggest one. All the big ones are called berserkers. I forget the name for the smaller ones, but they would just be average height people. But the berserkers, so like he was meant. That's what he trained for and like stuff. So either way, he's not that articulate.
No.
He was smart for what he was, but still, like they had so much potential, dude, and the best CGI, the best fucking everything, beautifully shot. Like Iceland, it made me want to visit Iceland.
Yeah, and at times
During
like the land was very barren. Like there wasn't much to it, but it's something about it. Even like the little bit of parts that you saw of it, you're all, I don't mind. I don't mind looking.
In the show
there.
Vikings, it kind of didn't do the same justice, just because there's so many different settings.
Yeah.
And there's a season in Vikings where they do go to Iceland. But so this character is after it's post dated after Vikings. So like when you say King Harold killed or took the lands from your uncle, King Harold was already after Ragnar and all that stuff. Like it's already kind of modernized already. Like,
Oh, okay.
So it's like, oh fuck. So now they already have like a settlement in Iceland and stuff. Like this was way before they fucking left where they're originally from. So I already knew what was going on. Like it helped me watching Vikings and kind of knowing the terminology and what's going on and all that shit. But it's just it had so much more potential.
So go watch it, guys. Honestly, I really want people to watch it because by the way, as bad as it was at times, there was hilarious parts that you couldn't help but laugh and be like, "What is going on here?"
Sometimes I think we're the only ones laughing, but of course it's us.
Yeah, because look. And we watched this like on a Monday night, like no kids were there. No, there wasn't a lot of people. So there's a lot of adults. We're obviously not loud, but we do talk during a movie. Like we're going to whisper to each other and we're separated. So like we rent out a whole row. It's fine. Like we can talk amongst each other. I got to imagine we weren't the only ones having commentary of what the fuck was going on. There's no way.
Oh, bro, when we walked out, the two women the two girls, of us, they're like, so we're not the only ones that thought that movie sucked, right? And we're like, I mean, it wasn't the worst movie I've seen, but it could have been better.
Yeah.
It had so much potential, and I feel for whatever reason, bro, like with the original Vikings show coming out on Hulu and then Vikings Valhalla and then The Last Kingdom and now this movie is like a Vikings kind of moment. And you were the chosen one. They chose you to be the movie. And
you know what movie I thought it was going to resemble and not
it almost gave like a 300 vibe.
I was thinking like the way it was shot, it was gonna be more like The Revenant.
Okay.
I thought it was, and that was I really did enjoy that movie. Like I like the way it was shot, I like the story and all that. I thought it was gonna be kind of like that, and it wasn't. It was just, I feel like they fell flat on a lot of different areas.
It could have, like I said, bro, it could have been better, and I think maybe because I always attribute it to writing first, because there's only so much you can do. That's where you start. It's the writing. It was good enough to be a movie. Obviously it's not the worst movie out there. Fucking John Travolta played fucking John Gotti. Like that movie's probably the worst movie ever made. But it's good enough to be a movie. It's just I wish it was on the same level as a 300.
Yeah,
or
they could have gone that way. Could have.
Yeah. And speaking of 300, I didn't know about this. Did you know Gerard Butler got caught in 2012? Fucking a girl in the porta potty at Neon Carnival.
What?
Yeah. Speaking of Coachella, that was my transition.
Oh, you know what? Look, there's a lot of places you're gonna be intimate in. It's not always just gonna be in one spot.
By the way, he was fresh out of rehab.
Even more reason. now I can justify it. I wasn't gonna justify you fucking in a porta potty because, guys, we've all been to Coachella or Stagecoach. Those bathrooms are atrocious.
Bro, I've been in the what you call it, the brick and mortar bathrooms that they have right there.
Yeah.
And some dude took a girl into the stall. Like he walked past everybody in line. It was almost perfect timing because dude came out of the stall freshly just shit in there.
Yeah.
And he just walked in there with his girl. And I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, more power to you, dude.
Hey, salute to you, buddy. Just try not to take too long. There's people in the bathroom.
There's people in the bathroom. Like
there's a long line.
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes.
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that.
There is general courtesy that you will give people, and I'll give them that grace. Hey, 5-10 minutes. Anything longer than 10 minutes, go fuck yourself, bro.
So you can't blame Gerard fresh out of rehab?
I can't have fresh out of rehab. There's a lot of things you need when you start like assimilating back into society.
And the first place you went to was Coachella, where everything that probably sent him in there
He's
into that rehab.
No, you know why, bro? He was just testing how strong he was gonna be.
He was testing his will.
He's like, I'm gonna put myself in the midst of chaos, and I fell flat on my ass.
He's like, but it's kind of hard because this is 2012. It's kind of hard when there's a hot brunette co-ed dressed up like a Native American woman.
The Molly's pure.
The Molly's the purest of the pure.
Not now.
Not now, hey.
But good transition. We could talk about Coachella 2022. First year back from pandemic. There wasn't any concerts. And I was not that I was skeptical, but I was like, I wonder how this is going to go. It's going to be the first one back. Obviously, we didn't go weekend 1. We went weekend 2.
But we saw like everybody else.
Yes.
On whether it's the YouTube live, the live streams that were 45-minute delay for whatever reason, or people's Instagram stories, or just what people had to say, the TikToks of it and all that.
All the influencers.
Of weekend 1. And
not that I'm in that atmosphere at all. Like, I don't really follow influencers or anything, but I was hearing from people that do follow them, like, oh, bad experience, this is that. I'm like, you know what? How about I'm going to find out myself.
You'll find out for yourself.
Yeah, because I'm like, those people are either probably pricks or entitled.
Yeah, I'm not into hearing entitled people complain.
No, so I'm like, you know what? Nobody that I've known has said a single bad thing, so you know what? Let's just find out. And you know what? We went. And you know what happened? It was great.
It was probably the smoothest Coachella, the smoothest as you become a vet. I think it was our 8th or 9th time?
Easily.
Yeah, because I think we probably missed 1 year.
Yeah.
Or
I think
1
I missed
2 years.
Yeah, I think I missed 1 extra year. So I'm probably like a year under you.
Yeah.
In Coachella years.
So, like, it was smooth. It wasn't like I wasn't hurting every day. It wasn't a battle.
Which goes to show you, I started picking up on things because, clearly, once you're at Coachella, you have to, assimilate. Maybe if you want to be under the influence, you want to try new things. That's the place to do it, by the way. And that was an epiphany I had is we've said it before, but everybody here is just trying to handle their drugs. And you know what? We are all in an agreement of there's going to be a chance you might be having a bad trip. So you know what? Let's just be courteous. And I will say, this was the least violent Coachella I've ever seen, aside from that guy that was shadowboxing that I hope won. Yeah. You remember we were sitting down and you're all, did he win? I was like, may God help us if he didn't.
Who knows? But yeah, dude, like, and it happened to where one day bad trip happened to me. The other day, everybody else. Yeah. And I handled it because the one person you don't like, even though it's a safe place, everybody's just trying to handle their drugs. Yeah. You don't want to be that person.
Don't be that person.
That looks like a corpse just laying out. Or like that's visibly like, because you're going to set other people to panic. But I just didn't want to be that person. Yeah. Because, like the first day we run into my parents' friends, it's like, all right, let's hold this one together.
Yeah. It's like, imagine if you were bad and like you're
oh, no, they walked by on Sunday, and I made sure not to say anything because I didn't want anybody to have a conversation with them. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, so you really like, and even if I'm sick, having a bad trip, I'm going to muscle through and hold it together.
By all means.
Soldier's mentality. Just tough it out. It's going to be over right now.
I may have to take a knee and just like gather myself or sit down, crisscross applesauce, but you know what? I'm fine. I'm not passing out. I'm not falling over. I'm good.
And also another thing. When doing drugs with friends, make sure those people are actually your friends that are going to understand you're having a bad trip, and 1, not make fun of you, 2, not record you, 3, like tweet about it. I'm not saying that happened like amongst us or anybody else. I'm just saying in general, you don't want to.
I smash them in the mouth if they did that.
You wouldn't want to be that person. Like, so
don't make people feel bad for something that they have no control over.
Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't have ate those many shrooms, but
that's their choice, But that's the whole thing of like,
but who could have known?
Hey, you know what? How about this? We're gonna sit you down. Let's cool you off a little bit. Yeah. And time's gonna pass. This trip will not last forever. I promise you.
I promise. This is the bad part, but once it's done, you're fine.
And guess what? You're gonna laugh it off after.
Yeah. And sure enough, I did. Once it passed, I was like, oh my God, that was one of the worst things I've ever had to do in my life.
Bro, like you had it the second day, right? Yeah. My first day when I think we were watching Peak Sweats, I don't know at what point, but I was fighting, bro. I was swinging back and forth, and I'm like, you know what? Widen your base. Widen your base, and you're fine, bro. Just relax. We're going to get through this.
Bro, I remember turning to my left, and you were kind of you were below eye level to me. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? That's how wide your legs were. I'm like, what's going on?
Hey, bro, that's the one thing that I picked up the whole weekend. I'm like, you know what? If I ever feel like that's my center, like that's my happy place. If I need to relax, I'm just gonna widen my legs and I'm just gonna have a wider stance.
Yeah, you can't fight gravity. You might as well work with it.
Hey, that's what I'm gonna do.
And it hit me at Pink Sweats too, and I'm like, my jaw's already shaking. I don't know if I'm cold or not.
I was battling that too.
And I'm like, but it wasn't. It didn't feel bad. It was like one of those like fucking skyrocket peaks.
No,
it came out of nowhere, and I remember distinctively of like, should I take this other cap or should I not? Fuck it, do it. And then in the middle of it, I'm like, I fucked.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have done that. These things were shy. They waited an hour to kick in, and I overdid it a little bit. Now I just got to power through and just deal with this.
And it was hilarious because when we by the time we got back to the car, mine was like hours have gone, so I'm like, okay, I'm good now. I'm fine. And I looked over at you, and you're all, oh, I'm still battling, buddy. Still in it. And that's when you put the seat back because we were waiting for people in the car, and I was like, oh, he's. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let him have this.
Yeah, I'm like,
he's in the middle of this.
Still in it, feet hurting, but it was such a smooth Coachella.
Biggest takeaway. Who blew you away?
So, I think everybody was as good as I thought they were gonna be. The only person I was underwhelmed with was probably Billie Eilish, but everybody else that I saw, like Pink Sweats, blew me away. I already kind of knew based on his background of growing up in the church that he was gonna he's a great performer.
He's funny
as fuck.
Yeah,
and can sing his ass off, and such a personality with charm, charisma. He can joke with the dude or the girl. Like no matter who's in the audience, he's gonna joke around and be himself. And he'll get on the drums like fucking performer. Then right after that, Snow went on, and to see, she's a different kind of performer to where she's a commanding presence, and you're taking a step into her world. It's almost like she gives that vibe of what's is her name Jessica Rabbit, like Roger Rabbit. Yeah, like she gives off that kind of vibe, but like singing in like a jazz hall, like the way that the fucking the smoke, what is it, the fucking I'm blanking on the name. Either way, like the colors, it was almost like there was an aura around her as she performed and she was singing how she maneuvered through it. I was like, this is fucking beautiful, and wow, these shrooms are perfect right now.
Perfect time.
These shrooms are amazing.
I'm glad we were both like in that stratosphere at the same time on that day, because that was when like there was a line of just phenomenal artists back to back to back to back.
Yeah, and even in Harry Styles blew me away because I was never a Harry Styles fan.
Yeah, me either, bro.
I was never like, I never went out of my way to listen to a song of his. Like I never. And when I watched the whole show, I was like, I'm exhausted watching this fucking thing, because this guy, it was a 90-minute cardio session.
It was a Zumba class, but it would be like the hardest Zumba class of all time.
Level expert.
Yeah, literally. It's what it was.
I'm pretty sure Harry Styles and the dude from the gym are the only two people on this planet that could run up Machu Picchu.
Oh, no breaks.
no breaks at all.
If you told me Harry Styles could play professional football, soccer, I'd be like, that makes sense. I could see how he runs back and forth for 90 minutes.
I'm not saying he'd be good.
I'm not saying he'd be good, but
he's got the cardio and the stamina.
To keep up.
And I walked away. I walked away a fan.
Yeah.
Like, I can respect you as a performer and how well you approach your craft. He's in his Elton John type of moment right now.
Yeah.
And with his style and how he's going about everything, like he's channeled it and made it his own, and I can respect the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
And it was overall like, maybe missed a couple of people that I wanted to see, but I mean, I could just go to a concert at that point.
That is true.
Like they're not. I saw the people. I seen what I needed to see. Anybody that I didn't see, I'll catch a show eventually, or they'll be at Coachella again, because Coachella every 2 years they'll book some people again and move them up to a bigger stage or like a bigger platform and stuff like that. So all in all, it was a great experience. I mean, didn't get food poisoning, just had a bad trip on Saturday, and that was about it.
It's pretty seamless. That's pretty seamless.
Yeah.
I did notice there is a lot of not that I didn't think about it before, but it was more so the case because one, either if you're under the influence or whatever, you start realizing there's certain acts and there's certain people that are made to be seen in person. It's kind of like, I think of it as kind of like sports. There's certain sports that translate really well to television. Like you can watch it in football, you watch it in television. Football, you can watch it in person. Both, good time.
Yeah.
There's sports that aren't really made for the TV. Call it what you want.
Baseball, shitty on television, great in person.
Most people would have the argument. Or like same thing with like fighting. Most people prefer it in television because of the angles and you can see it all versus in person. Like the atmosphere is super fun, but you're gonna miss a lot. You're gonna miss a lot. So I noticed that there's a lot of artists that are made to be seen in person that I didn't, not that I didn't give the grace, but I just didn't give them a chance too much. Just sonically hearing them, like on Spotify.
They talk about that in the industry, like, oh, this person's an album artist or just a recording artist. This person's a performer.
Yeah.
There's very rare instances where they're both. That's why like artist development is such a big thing, because you need that element to your stuff. Like in order for you to sell out these tours and to make majority of the money you're gonna make, majority of your wealth is gonna be for performing. So you might want to focus on that, because not a lot of people are born natural performers. It takes a lot of work. Even Michael Jackson had to work at it. Like his dad, fucking drill sergeant with them. But one of the greatest performers ever live. And that's one of the things that you'll notice at Coachella is that a lot of people are getting their start. The Weeknd's talked about it. Like his 2012 Coachella performance,
his first one,
was the catalyst to where he stopped doing drugs before performing, doesn't drink, doesn't do anything, and he focused on making the best show he could. And when we saw him on Sunday, he proved it.
Swedish House Mafia and The Weeknd together were top 3 performances I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That was insane to see. One, because of Swedish House Mafia and kind of like the setup, the starter they did to it, and then The Weeknd came in right after that. And it's just, there was just so many, just being there witnessing that, I was like, I felt like that was a moment in time that obviously The Weeknd has his legacy, Swedish House Mafia has their legacy, but I feel like that collaboration together at Coachella is, it's kind of like, people always talk about the Beyonce set. People talk about a lot of sets. I feel like that was one of them. I was like, that I'm glad I was here for this.
That's one of, exactly. It's you had to be here, and if you weren't here, you're not gonna understand.
No.
And also, it helps to be a very objective fan when it comes to your favorite artist, because if you're objective to all their music that they put out, and you're not just, well, Trilogy's my favorite, so I'm just gonna, if he doesn't make something that sounds like that, I'm never gonna listen to it. It's like, well, then you're gonna miss out on all the other music he's making and the greatness that it is, because you're holding it to something that he did when he was 20 years old. He's pushing 30 now. Like there has to be growth, and if he didn't grow in that time, what are we talking about here? Like, because
then you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Because if he makes the same thing, then you're gonna be, oh, well, it all sounds the same. So
he's never evolved. And you gotta ask yourself too, like, we're so selfish with our favorite musicians, artists, because we want them to be to ourselves. We don't want anybody to know about them,
which is weird. I hate that's
it, right? And
that gatekeeping thing has always been weird to me.
And you don't want them to make the music that they want to make. You want them to make the music you want to listen to. It's like, well, that's unfair to them, because maybe The Weeknd grew up idolizing Michael Jackson like a lot of people did in that time period, and maybe he wants to be like that,
his version of it, but like that. And it's like, oh no, I don't want to hear that. That's too poppy for me. Well, don't get me wrong, he's gonna have some pop records, because you know why?
Saying the same shit,
because he understands the machine that is the industry. He's gonna play the game, and he's gonna play it very well. So what do you want him not to win out of it? But he's also, if you're listening, he's also going to make non-poppy stuff, and he's going to go ahead and go that old route.
Well, before Blinding Lights, one of his most streamed songs was Can't Feel My Face, and it's about cocaine. And it's like, guys, it's just because it's not packaged the way you love it from him that you think it's not good. It's phenomenal music, and when you look back, it's going to be one of those things where it's going to age better with you the older you get.
Which is hard to say about a lot of music.
Yeah, like, there's certain artists where I listen to, like, perfect example would be
Baby Bash.
That's timeless music. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Like ASAP Rocky's first mixtape, and yeah, I love it because it's so 2011 that it takes me back to 2011.
Yeah.
And it'll always take me back to 2011 because the stuff that he's talking about and all that, like Purple Swag, like that takes me back to 2010, 2011 when I was drinking lean.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, I would love, like, I wonder what Purple Swag would sound like in 2022.
Today. Yeah.
And that's exactly what The Weeknd's doing. Like, let me make a loft music, but in 2022, or let me make a fucking Dirty Diana, and like just different shit, which could have been a clear indicator that he remade Dirty Diana, that his idol is Michael fucking Jackson.
I mean, the proof ain't in the pudding.
He can't dance like Michael. Not many people fucking can, unless you're Chris Brown. But fucking A, let the man live, and he wants to be mentioned with Prince, Michael, and you gotta say The Weeknd.
Yeah. And if you don't want to admit it now, the time will come within the next 5 to 10 years that, I mean, it's going to be kind of undeniable. It's kind of like the whole Drake thing. Like, at this point, people aren't even going to fight about Drake being like at least top 5, because it's like, well, dude, he's put out so much good records. You might not love his discography, like in terms of like, oh, I can't listen to this album without skipping, but you can't say he does not have a lot of good hits, because he does.
And he's not a great performer.
He's terrible. He's terrible.
And anybody that says otherwise, I don't think you understand great performance.
Who had a bad performance? There was somebody that we're watching. I don't know if it was like a DJ. Who was it that we watched and we're like, oh, it wasn't that good. I'm trying to fucking think.
Walked by Epic High and we're like, what the fuck is going on inside that tent?
Oh, that was scary. Yeah.
Dude, I was like, are we being under a terrorist attack right now?
It's
just the energy. That's the beautiful thing about Coachella. You could walk by and you could either get drawn in
or run,
or you could run the opposite direction.
Which is hilarious because we're not really one for like listening to a lot of DJs and that type of EDM music, but I
did Molly the last time was like 2015. But
yeah, I mean, it's all good. No, but we're not even that big into that music. But there's people in the group. Shout out Evelyn. Like, she wanted to go watch certain DJ stuff, and it just, some of it was really cool. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see this. I can see why people love listening to this. But then I can see this other spectrum of this music, and I'm like,
and when the DJ's not good,
I'm like, I'm running. I'm like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be around this.
Yeah, this doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
No, because Disclosure killed it.
That was great.
That was probably the most fun I had.
Yeah.
Throughout the weekend was that show. The most fun. The most blown away would probably be Harry Styles, The Weeknd.
Dude, I'll say this: Emotional Oranges was really fucking really.
Remember when we saw
fantastic.
them at the El Rey?
Yeah,
they were good in there. Smaller, more intimate venue.
Yeah, that was just like laid back, chill, vibing. But for whatever, and it's maybe because like they had background dancers, but it felt like it was a lot going on.
And I can make the argument. I think they make pool parties summertime music.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you're kind of in a warm environment, there's beach balls flying in the air. Like, that's like another DJ. I remember this back like I think 2012 or 2015. Martin Solveig.
Yeah.
He makes music that's very happy beach party, like day club music. And same thing with Emotional Oranges. It's just R&B.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Like, that was fun to see. Little Isaiah Rashad blew me away. And like, to see his performance and to see what he bounced back from his sex tape leaking, and just him being on stage, bro, having fun. Like, he was sweating like a motherfucker though, and I was like, oh wow, this guy, I don't think he was prepared. Like, he's wearing long sleeve and jeans and he's running around on stage. He's sweating pretty bad right now. But he's still, the energy immaculate. He was playing songs from his demo, Sylvia tapes, the Sylvia demo, and that was nostalgic for me because that was my introduction to Isaiah. And from that tape, if you're what would say like a longtime TDE fan, when that tape came out under Top Dog, that was when conversation came around of Isaiah being the next Kendrick. And, having his trajectory was supposed to go straight to the fucking moon. Because he was supposed to be the next one. It was Kendrick, J-Rock, Schoolboy, Ab-Soul, and then Isaiah Rashad, this guy from fucking Chattanooga. And you're like, who the fuck is this? And then all of a sudden, The Sun's Tirade comes out, and it's great. And then he just vanishes, and he ended up moving back home to his mom's house in Tennessee. I didn't know this until he came back, and battling with alcoholism and having to go to rehab and being fucking broke. All his money went to partying and bounced back, and then he drops a project on his way back, and then now he's back to where he was supposed to be. And it's a beautiful thing to watch, to see the Sahara packed out far. Like, it was going damn near towards almost to the Ferris wheel. Jesus. That's how packed it was to watch him. And it was a beautiful thing for me. And then the nostalgia with the songs when we first came out, and then reliving that moment, and always thinking to myself, like, man, this song's gonna go crazy live. And it did. When I was looking into the crowd, I'm like, if I was in the middle there, one, sweating my ass off, two, think I'm about to die, but I'd be having the time of my life.
Yeah.
And it was so cool, bro. It was such a cool thing to see, like, how far everybody's come. This is like the first major festival. To see The Weeknd in Swedish House Mafia have 120,000 people. Like, that's one of those things. I follow this page on Twitter, and they post old rock photos. And they post photos of, like, Freddie Mercury performing and
at Wembley.
At Wembley, and like these other artists like the Who, Rolling Stones performing in these huge ass arenas and stadiums, these soccers. And then I don't think people realize the moment we're living in right now.
Yeah.
The photos of The Weeknd and when Beyonce did it and fucking Cascade, that's the photos our kids are going to be looking at, like, fuck, there was 120,000 people.
How?
Just watching one person sing about doing coke and fucking ecstasy. Like, I don't
While
think
everybody's equally doing coke and ecstasy.
Everybody's doing fucking coke and ecstasy time. Hey, the more things change, the more they stay the same, bro. The more they stay the same.
I just wonder how sonically it's going to sound for our kids, you know?
Yeah.
You waited that, but
we'll see when it gets there. Like, that's one thing I love about how I grew up. My dad always said, like, be open-minded with music. You don't want to be that person that just listens to one genre, because that's a boring person.
Yeah.
That's a person isn't open to new ideas, isn't open to other people. And you want to be able to experience life.
Yeah.
And these people, this kind of music comes from different parts of the world, so you need to learn to enjoy it. And Coachella is that.
I will say that's a good thing about our group, is like everybody equally had a bunch of different tastes.
Yeah. Wallows was cool. Seeing Wallows,
that was for me, blew me away.
Yeah.
Little Baby did too, but because I've always liked Little Baby.
Yeah.
I'm never really gonna go look up a bunch of his albums and songs, but if it's on, I'm like, oh, this is good music.
Yeah.
Being there, I was like, oh, this
the
is
energy.
This is wild. I get it. It was kind of like when we saw Suicide Boys for the first time. I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, I understand. I'm a fan now.
Fully understand Suicide Boys.
No, I will never fight you on it again.
And that's one thing that me listening, I always think of, like, I wonder how this would be live. Like, oh, this song will go crazy. This will go crazy. And then when it does, it kind of the confirmation bias of, like, there it is. And then when it doesn't, it's like, son of a bitch. I guess I could just keep imagining it being a great show.
Because think about it, bro. We saw Wallows, we saw The Weeknd, we saw Karol G. Like
Karol G, even though we saw maybe the last 20 minutes of it.
Still great fucking set.
Yes.
Great and I'm sad. I was like, damn, we should have watched more of it. But it's like, it's one of those things like, dude, there's so much different genres, so much different good music. You're going to fight those battles 9 times out of 10. Oh, lastly, the one thing I will comment on was I feel very bad for anybody that doesn't fuck Meg Thee Stallion the way that she needs. Because I'm not that again, I will listen to her music if it's on, but I'm not gonna go out of my way. Hearing her lyrics and like her performing her, like one thing is you singing your lyrics, she's performing her lyrics, and I'm like, I feel bad for any poor bastard that isn't giving it to her the way she needs it.
Because she's gonna make a song about it.
She'll make a whole album.
Yeah,
she'll make a whole album about
your
it.
Dick is,
yeah, and
I'm
I'm like,
you can't handle this, and I'm gonna fuck your friend, and hopefully he can fuck me better than you.
And I'm like, you know, touche. I guess. Like, what am I supposed to say to that?
You can't. And
honestly, I was blown away.
I'm glad you brought that up, bro, because there's some people, like, I noticed in the crowd, like, a lot of guys were like, oh, I can't listen to this.
Yeah.
And then that made me think, like, oh, you're the guy that she's probably talking about. Like, the shoe fits.
Yeah.
Like, no. Guys don't get uncomfortable when they talk about, you know, with the misogyny in their lyrics towards women.
But let it be vice versa.
Vice versa, you start getting a little insecure and thinking like, oh fuck, is my dick little? Can I not make it?
Bro, it's funny because like I'll put it this way. When we're watching Lil Baby and we're in it, it's like motherfuckers are moving like they are hyped. And then you see dudes like that are forced to be there with their girl watching Megan Thee Stallion just like holding their bag, just doing this. They're just like.
But I was watching, and that was during my bad trip, and I'm like, she's really killing this right now.
It was great.
Like, she's really killing this, and we were far back.
Wait.
And I was like, she's really killing this. I feel like I need to throw up because of these drugs, but
this
like,
is good.
This is good. Like, don't let my face misconstrue anything that's going on. This is good. But yeah, bro, like, I never take weekend one influencer or fake influencers' opinions.
Mm-hmm.
You need to start living life and coming up with your own conclusions.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to an entitled person that they probably didn't even pay to go to the festival, they're probably either that or they have VIP passes and they expect to be treated a certain way, and when they don't get treated that way,
I have to walk all the way to the other stage.
That's
like, so far.
It's like the epitome of first world problems.
Oh, it's annoying.
And I'm not into hearing that, and I'm glad like everything that happened with the Revolve Festival and stuff like that. Like, I'm glad that happened. Like, I love seeing people being humbled and brought back down to earth. Like, you're not that important unless you may think you're important because you have 700,000 followers or whatever, 500,000 followers.
That's the hilarious part of like, hey, look who I am.
Yeah.
And like a bus driver just looking at you and be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Who
you think you are. You're not getting on my bus.
If I can't recognize you, you're not that famous.
Yeah, sorry.
I would recognize The Weeknd before
I recognize you. I was if The Weeknd comes on or LeBron James is on my bus, I'll get off my fucking bus.
Yeah, I'll let him drive.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
You can do anything.
But I'm sorry. Can you do your TikTok dance one more time?
Yeah.
So maybe I could recognize you?
God, maybe I just don't recognize the dance.
Fuck. I've seen so many people do this dance.
Bro, that was another thing. It's just like, yeah, I never take that into consideration, those people. And it's funny because you just hear people that don't go and they're just talking shit. And it's like, well, did you even go? Or it's like, it kind of reminds me like the Met Gala of people. I'll say this is my correlation of people were saying, oh, these Coachella outfits were dog shit. Mm-hmm. What was your outfit like on the couch then?
Yeah.
Please tell me. And it's the same people that were talking shit about the Met Gala that just happened. It's like, I understand there was a lot of bad outfits that didn't go along with the theme, but also, who are you to judge?
And I'll tell you who. A person with taste. I'm a person with taste.
Different. There's a difference there.
Yeah. But there's people that, if you notice a theme, we follow majority of the same people. They're always complaining. They're never satisfied.
I don't get it.
And they're the same people that are watching or they're attending said festival and you're complaining about it. Yeah. So nobody asked you to be a fake activist. Nobody asked you to make this post or complain about the lineup or complain about the Met Gala or complain about this. But also, you're still here. You're still watching. You still paid. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so clearly whatever you or whatever you said, I guess I can't hold you to your word.
Oh, I guess I should just be, you're so woke, dude. You're absolutely right. There should be way more EDM on here. Yeah, if you wanted more EDM, go to fucking Neon. Go to EDC. Go to fucking whatever the fucking San Bernardino.
Yeah.
And have the time of your life and
Beyond, isn't it? Beyond
Wonderland, beyond my fucking carriage. Anything that you fucking do, bro. Like go take your stepped on ecstasy and have the time of your life over there.
Yeah.
Leave Coachella alone. It's fine. It's been here for over 20 years. It's gonna be here way after you're done going to festivals.
Yeah. So
sorry.
So please stop. Stop with the commentary.
USC's using Coachella as like for their fucking Instagram post for their spring game.
Yeah, the kind of like the whole style of what a Coachella lineup looks like. They used it in terms of like what they're gonna do in the football.
And locals, you should realize this too.
That's cool.
It's cool. Coachella's being brought up in songs. Bad Bunny said it in a song. Moneybagg Yo, Drake. Like, our valley is on the rise. I was just talking to a customer today that moved from Houston here because his daughter had a wedding in Palm Springs
and loved it.
He loved it, and he's like, I want to live here. And fucking 3 years later, he's bought a house.
It's funny that you bring that up because I was having a conversation with somebody else about this. They lived in else part of the United States. And he came out here to golf because he's always heard about the golfing in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And literally fucking live like relocate like he retired, relocated with his wife, and they're here like full time now. And we forget this at times because we've only ever been here. You realize this time in other parts of the United States is
sucks ass.
Fucking awful. What's the hardest part of our day today, Adam? I'll tell you what. It's cold in the morning when we get out to work, and you know what? By like 10 o'clock, we're like, all right, I'm taking my sweater off.
You know, let me take off my beanie.
Yeah, and then you know what? Okay, cool. I'm still in the long sleeve. We're not battling the fucking rain, fucking storms. We're nothing like
potential hurricanes.
We have this terrible illusion of what we think. Like the problems that are in the valley. There's a lot of problems in the valley. I'm not saying there's not.
Yeah.
But we also have to realize the amount of like pros that it is being here.
It's very much a pro, and to start having pride in it, because I've been saying this for years, bro. People,
if you don't,
come
somebody
here.
else will.
If you don't, somebody else will. But you got to realize, if people are coming here that have money, there's value here. People don't go to places that not worth their time, not worth their money.
No.
So you got to start having pride in that, because before you know it, you're not going to have any part of it. And all those people that used to live in LA or used to live in India and now they live in LA and just have LA in their bio, you're going to look pretty dumb, because everybody that's here that is proudly claiming their town is going to remember, like, no, I remember you when you switched up.
Yeah.
I remember when you were gone and you acted like you were never from India. I remember you put Palm Springs in your photos. That's crazy.
To be fair, I had Indio/Fullerton in my bio.
I did the same thing.
I never took off Indio off my bio.
I always had Indio. I changed it when I moved to Fullerton or moved to LA, moved to Long Beach. I had the slash.
Out of respect to my city.
Bro, I love Indio so much, and I hate Indio so much.
Yeah.
And only a person from Indio would understand that.
Yeah. I get it. No fight. You're not gonna hear any argument from me.
And it's just like, yeah, does it suck sometimes? Out of the fucking 3 weeks out of the month of April, that there's so much traffic, there's people here, it's so much, but you understand how important your valley actually is for something like that people see that they want to be here. And you get to live here. This is your home. Have pride in your home. Like, have pride where you're from. Like, rep that shit proud, whether you're from Indio, La Quinta. I'll respect you less, but whatever.
Coachella,
like, fucking be proud where you're at, bro. Like, stop chasing some fucking fantasy from when, you know, your parents were our age of like, no, you got to go to LA or you got to go to New York. You got to go here. It's like, there's nothing wrong with making something out of yourself from being home. Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't go out and like experience
things. That's also
things.
not what I'm saying.
Yeah. You need to go out, go venture, go do what you need to do. I'm never going to hold that against you, but not saying don't turn back on your community, but don't turn back on what made you. And with that being said, I'm not saying go back into toxic environments if you left here for toxic reasons.
Yeah.
I understand. But if you didn't and there is still a lot of good, just keep in mind, like, it's still here. You don't need to talk shit, and you don't need to be those people.
Yeah, you don't. It's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than a fucking complainer. Unless you're complaining about something that's a worthy cause, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop complaining about the traffic in the valley and start complaining about the fucking Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade.
It's not that they overturn Roe v. Wade. It's just there's a draft that's coming out apparently that's gonna go ahead and try.
The draft already happened. What are you talking about?
No, that's
the Falcons got Drake London. All right, I understand.
I understand you're happy about it. I am equally
I'm fucking
too.
Ecstatic.
But equally
What's
as
this
pissed
draft
off.
you speak of?
No,
the Supreme Court has a tweet in the drafts. Is that what you're talking about?
No, there was a draft that was leaked, and I think a Supreme Court judge, I think his last name is Robinson, I believe, he went ahead and confirmed the leak about, yes, this is going to happen, or this is in the mix of happening. We are going to try and go ahead and turn over Roe v. Wade. For those of you who don't know, Roe v. Wade, I think it was in the 70s, might have been the 70s, 1973 or something. I'm not too sure.
It's okay. You're over 5 years removed from college.
Fuck if I knew half of the stuff I remembered. But it pretty much set the precedent of if your state wants to, you guys want to have abortion, if it's legal, you guys can decide that's up to you. Roe v. Wade essentially said you cannot ban abortions under any circumstances. You may not allow it, but you can't ban it. So essentially, if this happens, then a lot of states are going to be able to be like, okay, that precedent's off now. Okay, fuck it, let's go back and
now
we're gonna
ban abortion.
Let's ban it.
Yeah.
Which I understand in a state like ours, it's Democrat.
It's not gonna happen.
We're gonna be okay. But think about all the fucking other states and the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of women that aren't gonna have the option now because the Supreme Court said, yeah, no, we're gonna overturn this. So now there's no precedent that says I can do otherwise. So it's up to your state whether they want to do it or not. So if you're in a red state, it's gonna be very hard. And now what are you gonna do? Because if you're a woman, and it still doesn't make sense to me how fucking old men can decide on these things.
That's always been my stance. Like, as far as like, I'll say when I was a kid, I thought abortion was bad because I was like, I really don't believe in that because my mom could have aborted me and I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. But then I realized like, I never asked to be here. Maybe my mom could have been in a worse situation and I could have grown up in a worse situation.
Yeah.
Like my perspective on life, my upbringing isn't everyone's upbringing.
No.
And not every circumstance is the same. And furthermore, a man should never be able to tell a woman what she can or can't do with her body.
No.
Like, granted, yes, you are the other half of how this child came to be, how this woman became pregnant. You're the other half of it. But you're not the one that has to go through this full term of pregnancy with this child. And at any moment, we've seen it time and time again, you could be a deadbeat dad. You could leave this poor woman by herself, and now she's with the child for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Like, lives are changed. That kid didn't be asked to be brought into this situation, and you're taking away. It should just be the woman's choice. It gets too messy for me to be like, you know what? Let's just let the woman decide.
Yeah, and
then that doesn't even bring up sexual assault victims.
No, like
that doesn't bring up a lot of different situations.
What happens if it's a medical complication?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you can't do it. It's too late in the trial. What? So I can die now? Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's my life. So now my life's not important.
Yeah.
It's always been a messy and a weird situation to me because I remember in college, and there was this girl. She was very adamant about this, and she was on the religious aspect of kind of and it's always the case. It's always the case in the red states where when they bring up abortion, it always comes to a religion thing. And I remember there's this girl, she's not too far back from that girl, and she said, give me an argument non-religious based on why this is bad. Mm-hmm. And she couldn't say anything. I was like, she's like, if it's a medical reason, give me a medical reason why you think it's bad. I can give you multiple medical reasons why this is needed. Yeah. And she shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. And in my head, that was like clear as day. Clear as day. I was like, oh, this is as clear as blue and red will ever be. Mm-hmm. And it goes to show you, I was like, yep, well, that's the representation of that part of the country. And I was like, some people want logic and medical and science. Some people are like, I don't give a shit about that. I only want religion.
Only religion, that's a blessing from God. It's like, is it though? Because you don't even know how this came to be. I could make the argument that the Virgin Mary, I'm not even going to get into it, but still, like,
yeah, I know.
It gets very messy. And it's like, dude, at the end of the day, it's not your body. Yeah. You shouldn't say, let that person do whatever the fuck they want to do. It's the older I get, the more I realize, or more I lean on the side of like, look, who you fuck, how you fuck, or what you love has nothing to do with me. Has nothing to do with my body. It doesn't affect me. And if it did, that's weird. Yeah. If it did, if whatever you liked affected my day to day, I gotta check myself. Yes. What does it matter? And it's just crazy to me, dude. And how we're going backwards as a society.
And that's what I mean. And I do not want to. I'm telling you this right now. I do not want to go ahead and try and shit on religion. The only problem is, I find it very funny how it's always tend to be the religious people that are always like. It's very Crusaders to me. It seems like the fucking Crusaders where I'm gonna put this upon you, and I'm not asking you. Did I ever ask you for that? Nope. No. Hey, I need to show you this, and you need to be saved.
They need to hear the word of God. I didn't ask to hear it.
What in the fuck does that have to do with my day to day? Yeah. Like that's my whole thing of
and
like.
Also, where was God when this situation happened to me?
I don't know.
If there were a sexual assault victim, where was God? Why'd He let it happen?
So He wanted me to go through that traumatic experience.
Yeah. you went through that so you could have this child, so I could have a constant reminder of the most traumatic experience that ever happened to me.
Yeah. How does that make sense?
Doesn't make sense. And it's always people telling, it's always, I would say, I was this red states, or it's just so funny to me, bro. They want to tell you what you can or can't do with your body, ban abortions, but they also don't want to give universal health care. They don't want to help you out. It's like you're very picky choosy
of your stances right now.
Of your stances, and it's this old way of thinking. This, I don't even bring up religion. I'll bring up fucking World War II propaganda on life that they're just stuck with. Like the reason why there's so many people still incarcerated on marijuana charges is because they grew up in the time of the fucking propaganda and what marijuana supposedly did to you, and now it's
gonna make you blow your brains out.
Dude, it's a gateway drug. Is it, or did you always want to fucking shoot up heroin?
Yeah, don't use weed as an excuse.
Yeah, or did you just have an undiagnosed addictive personality?
Yeah,
maybe if you had universal health care, you would have been diagnosed with that at an early age. We could have gave you proper treatment for this, but since we don't allow that and we live in a capitalistic society, now we're all just going to suffer. And if you really gave a fuck about people's bodies, why do I constantly see homeless veterans that are undiagnosed with PTSD?
I'm going to stop you right there, because we have $33 billion going to the war in Ukraine.
Oh, there's nothing that irritates me more, wasting my time, and the U.S. getting involved in foreign affairs when we're in debt. Severe debt. It's like, bro, you're sending $33 billion, but I can't have to see homeless people all the time, of like people posting in LA, New York. I got to see, like, in our small microcosm of our valley, there's so many like shanty villages being sent up of homeless people. It's like, where's the funding? Where is it?
Yeah. And I understand you can't help people that don't want help, but I'm going to go ahead and make an assumption. I guarantee you there's probably a good amount of people in those communities, in those, as you say, shanty villages, that I guarantee you, if there was an opportunity and there was if there's a proper way of doing it, they would take the help.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but there's it would help the process out. But that's the whole thing, is like, I don't see anybody doing anything about it.
It's our government isn't a reflection of, I'll say this, our government isn't a reflection of California. It is a reflection. You got to think there's so many other states, and it's a reflection of them. That's the whole reason why Trump got elected. We ignore the whole middle of America.
And we fly over it.
We fly over it. We ignore the South a lot. And
there's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of fucking people there, and there's a lot of people that think like this, which is a very scary thing. Very scary thing when you start really fucking peeling back the layers of like, oh, there's people that think like this, and they also think like this.
And guess what?
And holy fucking shit, they're not too far removed from their great grandfather being. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You could see, I could see the parallel you're going with this, and that's my whole thing of. And guess what, Adam? Those people are still gonna repopulate. Those people are still gonna fuck. And guess what? The problems will. It's one of those things of like, I don't know I don't know how you would tackle this. And that's what we have this. That's thankfully why we have checks and balances, and we had the Supreme Court and had this in place where they're like, you know what, guys, look, this is the precedent. I'm not saying you have to have abortion legal, but you cannot ban it. Mm-hmm. Like they're gonna leave it up to you.
It's kind of like the NCAA right now with college football.
Yes, like, hey, we're lazy fair with a bitch. My hands off.
Yeah, you guys do whatever you want. It's like, no, dumbass, you're supposed to be the one governing this.
Yes.
Fucking figure this out. Tell us what to do, because obviously we don't know. You have people with these ideas, and nothing's ever gonna. It's very. I don't understand how it happens, bro. I don't understand how we go backwards as a society. I don't understand. Did we ever progress, or were we constantly lying to ourselves?
We like to think we did.
When I see people's arguments, when I see people talk, during the whole Black Lives Matter movement and hearing people's arguments, like, did we ever progress, or were you guys always closet racist, or did you guys were always closet prejudice, and like what's going on?
Yeah.
And I understand racist is a very strong word, but that's kind of the vibe I get when you're kind of like, we live in the PC culture. You don't want to get canceled, but this is what you really think. It's like, no, I want to hear what you really think.
Yeah, let me know, please. I would love to know where I stand.
Yeah.
I can at least respect it more.
I would love to know who the fuck I'm sharing a conversation with, who I'm sharing a country with, who I'm sharing the world with.
Yeah.
I would love to know, because I saw a tweet that said the United States is just a fucking a big arms country or whatever, like a weapons. Like all we do is we just get involved in war. We don't protect our people. We don't give them free health care. We don't make sure everybody's mental health. Like there's so much stuff. Our education's fucking dog shit.
Now you see how there's a fucking stigma around the world of Americans that make fun of us. Like
we're easy targets to be made fun of,
and for good reason, fucking reason. And I'm not saying like there's a lot of there's a lot of good in our country, there's a lot of bad, but one thing that sucks with like media is now everything is global. So now our problems are broadcasted for everybody to talk about.
Social media,
social media. So now it's exponential in terms of the mockery of us is gonna keep happening because of shit like this.
We're just stupid Americans, bro. And
they're like, oh, they're the most prosperous country.
And
they have homeless people, and they people can't buy a house, and people can't afford medicine.
Yep, 401k is a pipe dream.
It's like what? It's like what?
Social Security's gonna be gone.
What the fuck are we talking about?
How are we in debt to something we created?
That's the crazy part.
We created fucking currency. How are we in debt? Who do we owe money? Who do we owe the 77 trillion to?
We do owe a lot of money to China, I believe.
Yeah, that's a good part of it. Yeah. But why?
That's great. I don't know.
Why do we owe money to them?
It's like a fugazi, right? You're all, this doesn't make sense. If I made it up, why do I owe it?
If I made this up, why do I owe you? What did you have that I couldn't fucking buy or make? I make the money. What's going on?
It's weird,
bro. What is going on? Hey. How's all of a fucking generation, our millennials? How are we so fucked and in debt with fucking credit? We created this fucking thing.
We just got here.
It was invented in 1980.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Oh, bro. Like
let's just start. Like I love this idea. Let's just wipe the slate clean.
Hey, you know what? Y'all got wipe clean. Wipe it clean for us. Bruh. I constantly have, and I'm not gonna make this. Not that we have much baby boomers that watch this podcast, but I constantly have to tell my mom. I constantly have to tell my mom of like what our beef with the baby boomers and that generation is. She's like, I understand why you guys hate us. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it very. I was like, I'm gonna make it very clear, mom.
Short list or long list?
I'm gonna make it very fucking clear. I was like, you guys set up a world for us to not succeed in, for a world where only you guys benefit, a world where only you guys profit, a world where we're fucked. Oh, well, back in our day, we had to work multiple jobs. And I was like, and that was fucking fantastic. And guess what? People do also work multiple jobs today and can still only rent.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah. We can only afford to pay your mortgage.
Dude, it was hilarious because I got so sassy with her. She's like, well, you know, like they're trying to, because I was telling her, I was like, it's very simple, mom. Like, let's just say back in the 1990, dad bought a house, $100,000, okay? How much money do you make a year? I don't know, maybe like 45, 50. Okay, so he could pay it off his house in fucking 2 years. Crazy, right? I was like, the housing market's gone up quadruple? Has salary gone up, like minimum wage gone up quadruple? She's like, no, but they're trying to rate, they're increasing minimum wage. I was like, mom, they should have done this increase 20 years ago to start. I was like, don't try to throw me a fucking pity win.
Yeah.
I was like, it's very simple, mom. It's very fucking simple.
Yeah, and honestly, if we're gonna if like the point I said, we created currency. Why can't we recreate how much we're allowed to get per hour? Why is that such a fucking battle? It makes no sense.
No sense.
I started working 2012, summer of 2012. Stater Brothers getting paid $8 an hour. Mm-hmm. Minimum wage is what now? 12?
What?
What's minimum wage at?
Wait. You talking about California?
California.
Oh.
Because I can only speak to California. I think it's like 12, 13. It's not 15.
No, it's not. I think it's 15 in 2024.
Okay, so let's just shoot.
So right now, I think it's like 13.
$13.
I think, yeah, 13.
So it hasn't doubled.
No.
But how the housing market has doubled.
Not just housing, everything else.
The cost of everything has doubled. There's nothing more infuriating. I'm a nostalgic person. I love looking at old tickets.
Absolutely.
I love looking at throwback stuff. But what I hate is seeing baseball tickets that costed 5 cents.
Yep.
And now I'm lucky that the Dodgers have an all-you-can-eat pavilion for $20. It's like, My grandfather could never afford to watch a Dodger game today
Never.
based on whatever he was making back in the day.
Never.
There's no way he could afford to buy the fucking cars he had, the house he had.
And that's my point. And I didn't mean to cut you off. That's
it's
the point
fine.
I had to her. I was like, you fucking make my living experience 30 times harder.
Yeah.
Because I can't do half of the shit that you guys were able to do, even 12 years ago.
Why do you
even
have anxiety?
15.
Why do you have anxiety? I don't know. Because I got to figure out how much money I need to make to eat.
Yeah, like it's
That's all I can afford right now.
It's fucking it's completely stupid. And I told her, I was like, Mom, am I gonna bat an eye when baby boomers die? Absolutely not. Because in my head I'm like, not this is fucking morbid, but in my head I'm like, good riddance.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's
now you see why we're not why we're not fucking nice to old people.
bro. In not only that, they're terrible fucking drivers.
I love my old people, by the way, but
Their wealth of knowledge, their human almanacs, encyclopedias, all that. But my God, get off the roads and fucking retire already.
there should be an age. Look, after the age of 60, every 3 years you should have to take a driving test.
Yeah, and if you want to work, you're a volunteer. You
Yeah,
have to open up your job position for new people to come in.
yeah, that is true.
Like the population, I can't even tell you how much it's grown since they were our age. But it was also, these jobs are not meant for you to be here 40 fucking years.
Yeah, but to their argument, life expectancy was also a lot shorter. And
Yeah, and we didn't expect you to still be here, but also don't be a burden.
yeah,
You could be here, but also not be here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, qualifications go through the roof. Like, you have to have a fucking master's to make fucking, what, 15 an hour?
bro.
As a starting
I
salary?
came out of college and I had 2 degrees, I had 2 bachelors. My first job, they're all best we could do is $16 an hour, and I'm like,
What?
well, I'm gonna tell you what I'm not gonna do, is I am not gonna do that, and I am gonna go ahead and I was like, at that point, I bet on myself. I was like, no, I want a compensation. I want like let this be like commission. I was like, I'll bet on myself. I was like, I don't. If that's what you want to promise me, cool, but I need something in writing.
Yeah.
That's the only way I was able to like make ends meet was
Yeah.
through commission. I was like, that's the only way.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have to fucking do that.
No, and it's almost gotten to the point where they rule a college degree almost obsolete because now everybody has it because of that baby boomer generation enforcing that in order for you to be successful in life, you need to go to college, get these degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, now what happens when it's almost parallel? NFL legalizes steroids. Everybody has steroids now.
Now what?
Now what? Field's level. It's like no. Well, the field was never meant to be level. It's meant to be where certain people can exceed, and you look like a swan in a fucking field full of pigeons.
Yeah.
You know. But now everybody's fucking swans. So now what? You know what? Get a fucking become a doctor.
Yeah, get a PhD.
Get a PhD and then come back to us for the same 15 an hour.
Yeah, no.
Oh, fucking suck my ass.
Yeah.
I'll fucking come up with a business if that's
Yeah.
the case. I'll fucking work on my credit, come up with a different business, and I'll be self-employed and much more fulfilling.
Yes.
That way. When you gain control of your life and you stop leaving it up to other people's hands, it's stress, but
It's a different type of
different
stress.
stress.
It's a different type of stress. Because there's one thing of like, because you hear it all the time. I always love watching like those TED Talks with like older people that are just because they can give you knowledge on life of like the worst thing you can go through life is having like that regret of like unwasted potential. Like you piss
saddest thing to see.
Yeah, you hate it and it eats at you because you're gonna look in the mirror one day and you're at a certain age. You're all, I don't have the ability to do this now because my mind's not the same, my body's not the same.
Saddest thing to see is wasted potential.
And that's fucking like I heard that and I was like, oh yeah, I need to.
Because before you know it, you're not gonna be able to run. You're not gonna be able to do certain things, or
No.
you lose touch with certain shit that you're able to do, and it's like, oh fuck, like, you know what I really liked? I really liked to draw.
Yeah.
When's the last time I drew? You gotta ask yourself that, and then if you can't remember, it's been too long. First of all,
Yeah.
Second of all, you gotta ask yourself, why has it been so long? Why has it been so long since I've done the thing I like to do?
Mm-hmm.
It's when I listen to other people talk that are successful but they're more down to earth, they say life is meant to be you find what you like to do and figure out how you can make a career out of that.
Yeah.
So you're always doing something you love. If you love to help people, then yeah, go into the medical field, go into certain aspects. I remember when you said you wanted to go to the
Peace Corps.
Peace Corps. It's like yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Do it.
Yeah.
Fucking go after. If that's what you want to do, that is your calling in life.
Mm-hmm.
If you constantly drawing, you're like, you know, I love to draw, then fucking work at it.
Yeah.
Da Vinci didn't become a fucking painter because he was studying calculus. He was fucking drawing. Like do what you love to do. That's the purpose of life. You're only here, well, fuck, who knows how long, but still, like, you only have a certain amount of time, bro. And if you're constantly, if you think your life purpose is to make someone else rich and you just suffer, that, I'm sorry, you got it fucked up. And that's somebody that I can't really relate to.
No. And it's one thing of like, okay, I'm willing, if it's like a win-win situation for both of you, it's like, oh no, I'm promised this. If I hit this, I get that, and that's what you want, and I agreed to that. Cool. Like we both got what we wanted out of this. But more times than not, we see it every time. It's a one-way street, and there's only one person.
It's a win-lose.
Yeah, there's only one person really benefiting here, and that's why I have the biggest grief.
Yep.
Fucking baby boomers. I got me pissed off on a fucking Tuesday night.
All riled up, and it's moral of this story: don't tell people what to do with their bodies. Don't just focus on your fucking self.
How about you don't project on me, I won't project on you.
Consensually. Unless you want me to project on you.
We get a projector going.
Yeah. we could start me into a fucking projector.
So that's
You'll be my canvas. This is my canvas.
And these are my confessions. But yeah, essentially, mind your fucking business, I'll mind mine. So long as nobody's harming each other, we're all good here.
We should be fine.
Yeah, that's at the basis of simplicity, let's just keep it that way. But no, we want to make things about fucking ideologies and this and that. I'm like, I don't have time.
What's crazy, bro? I thought there's supposed to be separation between church and state. I thought there's supposed to be separation between.
Oh,
that.
You thought that?
Yeah, but it's crazy. The opening lines are, gotta put your right hand to God. You gotta. It's one nation under God, indivisible.
Isn't it when they're sworn in? Aren't they sworn in with like a Bible?
I thought
the president.
I thought it's the Bible of their choosing, like the religion.
Yes,
it
is. But the point is, like, why are we doing Bibles?
Why are we doing this? Why do you got to swear?
My whole thing is like, what if I'm not religious at all and I'm a president? I'm like,
you would never be president in this fucking country. Because
really, America, I wouldn't be a president.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't, because the whole middle of the country wouldn't vote for you.
No, that's a good point.
And that's
honestly, most of my people wouldn't vote for me.
That's a big issue to me. Is like, hey, government's supposed to be separated from religion.
Yeah, church and state.
But why are we one nation under God?
Oh, because we're founded on Christian ideologies and principles.
Yeah, the slave owners. And it came out, George Washington didn't have wooden teeth. He had slaves' teeth in his mouth. He had dentures of slaves' teeth because his teeth were rotting. And they ripped teeth out. And yeah, that's the face you should be making, bro.
This guy's fucking disgusting.
Our forefathers were
not my fathers.
Fucking disgusting.
Not my fathers.
That always makes me think of fucking that 70s show where they're telling Fez like your Mayan forefathers. My forefathers were not Mayan. It's like nobody fucking cares anyway. It's like, but it's true, bro. It's like this nation. One of our first president was wearing or had slaves' teeth in his mouth. Now imagine
he's wearing a wig too and makeup, which I respect, but.
No, you shouldn't, because it's rooted in disease. They were losing their hair. It wasn't to fucking look proper.
Oh, y'all motherfuckers phony then.
They're the fakest of the fake.
Hey, you know what? You're worse than the baby boomers.
Dude, think about how bad, like, this is the same people that wrote this Constitution. So not only did this guy, his family, and people that think like him treat slaves like shit, torture them, feed them bad. He said, give me your teeth after I made you eat the fucking parts of this pig and cow that I don't want any of us to eat.
Yeah. The worst of the worst.
The worst of the worst. My teeth are rotting. I need your teeth now. It's like, I
got to give him my teeth.
Yeah. But not only that, bro. It'd be like, it's like me seeing this, like, person eat shit. And then I need teeth. I'm like, you know what? Wash those teeth out. I need them. It's like, how fucking disgusting are you? Just go fucking toothless.
I feel sick to my stomach.
It's crazy because everything I've learned about our fucking racist presidents has been against my will. I didn't ask to know about George Washington's teeth.
I didn't.
I didn't need to know he had wooden teeth, and all for that to be a lie. I didn't ask for this. And now you're fucking opening the curtains to me, and it's like this guy just gets worse. All these people just get worse to me.
Maybe we should stop idolizing them.
Maybe we need to stop just fucking abiding by shit they wrote just because it sounds cool to fucking say.
Hey, tradition.
God.
It's the American way.
It's a fucking gilded age, and we can't even get that right at the fucking Met Gala theme. It's fucking ridiculous.
Blake Lively.
It's fucking country.
We need to talk more about Blake Lively and less about fucking presidents.
Met Gala. Listen to me. I have only one suggestion. Next year has to be a requirement. Two-parter here. One, all fashion designers that are contracted by these celebrities in which you invited have to send in
for approval
their costumes, their dresses, everything to Tom Ford and Blake Lively. That's one. Two, there needs to be a fucking bouncer at the front of the red carpet
with the panel behind
him judging, because people can make alterations in that time frame.
Or what about this? Designer's like, you know what? I'm gonna surprise you.
Yeah.
All right, okay, just know
you
might not come in.
We got the fucking Samoans over here in our panel watching and publicly shame these celebrities to actually dress the fucking theme. Entitled people, bro.
They just disregard them.
It's there's nothing worse than going to a costume party and there being someone there that's not dressed up.
Yes.
It's like, then why'd you show up?
Or like you've seen like those whiteout parties where people dress like in all white, and there's that one person that's like, oh, I don't want to wear that. I don't want to wear white.
I'm gonna wear black. Because I'm fucking different.
It's like
fucking unique. I'm misunderstood. Fucking nobody gets me. It's like, are you, bro? Or are you just an asshole?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's a fucking party. It's a theme here. Go with the theme.
Fucking wear all white and paint your nails black. Fuck. Is it that hard to wear a white shirt? Is it that hard to dress like you're in fucking Bridgerton? Even the actress in Bridgerton didn't even dress like, what's going on?
She could have just stole her wardrobe from set.
What's wrong with America? We're so confused.
Nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense for this fucking country. I want Tom Ford to publicly humiliate you.
Dude, I've never...
third requirement. Men can't just wear simple tuxedos.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough. I want to see motherfuckers
dressed
with
like
the poofy ass fucking at least for that theme. I want them to dress like Gunna does on a Friday. I want them to go all out. I want them.
I wouldn't be shocked if that's Gunna on a Tuesday.
I don't even know if Gunna knew the theme for the Met Gala yesterday.
He's like, there's a theme going on.
Yeah, I just showed up. It's fucking Gemini King right there. Even when he doesn't know the theme, he's on brand.
Yeah, this motherfucker's a menace.
But it's just it's so fucking, and it's the Hunger Games. We're just fucking district fucking whatever watching District 1.
Oh my god.
And how they behave, and it's like, bro, really?
Y'all couldn't have even done this.
You can't even be rich right. How are you make terrible decisions and you're rich?
That's concerning. But I would love, there's got to be like somebody that's just like the voice of all. That's like, there's nothing you could tell them. Like, and I've never heard Tom Ford speak before, but I heard recently because I saw clips of him on Twitter. I'm like, oh, he has all the sass in the room.
He's a sassy fucking bastard.
So please try and have an argument with him about why. My outfit makes a cut. Oh, you think your outfit makes a cut?
Mm-hmm. Your outfit makes the cut. My fucking ass.
Maybe that outfit should be cut up.
Yeah. Make another outfit just like this. Burn them both.
Top 2 worst outfits of all time.
Top 2 outfits. Your grandmother's rolling around in her grave right now. This is what you decide to do with your money?
Oh, it's like just ultimate burns like that. And I guarantee you, for him, it'd be so easy to say.
You know, this outfit wouldn't even hit at a blind foundation. Your outfit sounds ugly.
Your outfit just the worst of the worst. And
like,
you're just getting. It's literally like the Hunger Games, like the main guy that like speaks and does the interviews, like. But that's Tom Ford, and he is not going to have an interview with you.
What's the guy's name from Entourage that plays Ari Gold, and he was in Rush Hour 2. He was. They walk in to get suits.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'll make you the belle of the ball.
Yeah, the belle of the ball.
Yeah.
Have that guy be in character.
He's fucking hilarious.
and judge everybody.
He's 32 ways, 32 ways.
Yeah.
Let's check.
Let's check. But yeah, no, that's what we've missed. We took 3 weeks off. You guys didn't notice? Only thought it was 2 weeks because we're sneaky like that.
We're just goofy.
I'm just fucking silly.
I'm silly like that.
But yeah, man, a lot to talk about.
A lot of good things happening.
I hope a lot of people do a lot of self-reflecting on this country and how do we make this country better.
And also, how do we make ourselves better?
Yeah.
How do we not align with some of these?
Young Thug was onto something. I don't know if you heard this.
What do you say?
In not the most articulate of ways and only ways Young Thug could say, saying if you broke or poor, you shouldn't be allowed to have sex.
He said that?
Yeah.
I agree.
Because what are you doing? You think you think you should be allowed to fuck and you're broke? Just so you could bring broke kids into this world? Like, if you're not being ambitious, trying to better your life, why do you think you could bring people into this world?
Yes. And I'm not saying being a money hungry person. That's what I'm saying.
No.
I'm saying be a very well evolved person.
Yeah.
Be stable.
Mm-hmm.
So where it's kind of like this. I've always this is how I think about things now. Do I have the funds to bring another dog into my dog's life? That's how I think about it. And if I'm thinking that to that extent of like, this is probably going to cost the maintenance, you got to start thinking about that with kids.
Yeah. And if you're not, what the fuck are you doing?
Because whatever I'm doing with my math, you got to do it in your head like times 10.
Like, I don't know. It's just, we just got to do better. He said, he went to the extent of like, you shouldn't even be allowed to nut, but I won't even say that. You should be allowed to masturbate. But
it's your body.
It's your body. You
Full
can do
autonomy.
whatever you want, but you should not be able to have kids if you don't. At least you're not on your way to owning a home.
That's fair.
Like,
that's fair.
Like, come on, we got to start bettering ourselves as a society.
I would say so. There's so much things we fucking talked about today.
Yeah.
Coachella.
Bro, imagine if we had Bernie. I'm gonna say that until I fucking die.
Yo,
imagine if we would have just had Bernie.
It was the one baby boomer we're all in favor of, and that goes to show you because we hate them.
We could have had him in, I think, what was it, 2016?
There's twice.
We failed him fucking twice.
Bro, he's out there in his fucking just cold, shivering. But you know what? He's there because he shows up.
Keeps him alive? The fucking ambition to bring this country back to prominence.
A prominence that's never seen.
Exactly.
We like to think it was great.
He's not going to rest until we all have free healthcare and anybody can get an abortion.
Please do this for us, Bernie.
And universal wages.
Oh, crazy
livable
thought.
income.
Crazy thought.
Oh my God.
Hey, maybe rent control.
Wipe out student loan debt.
Are you kidding me?
This guy is fucking preaching a fantasy to these fucking conservatives.
God, where were you years ago?
The ones that probably didn't even go to fucking college. They don't have this debt hanging over their head.
And I'm a dumbass who paid my fucking loans back. Should have never paid them off.
That's why you gotta wait. I'm waiting. Defer.
Hey,
that's somebody else's issue.
Fuck.
Oh, is my $10,000 gonna save this fucking country? Is that what you're telling me when you tell me, hey, ain't that some shit, bro? Somebody that owes money is telling you about the money you owe.
Yep.
Last time I checked, my 10 G's is not on the same playing field as your 77 trillion. You couldn't even. I don't even think we have 77 trillion in circulation in money.
No, not even close.
So, at least I
owe
could pull out 10 grand.
Hey, I
can
pull out.
Show you what that looks like.
How do you owe something that doesn't even exist?
It's a number that's probably just fucking ticking.
Yeah.
It's just constantly just going like, I guess we'll get to 100 trillion. What number sequence is after trillion? What do we call that? We'll make that up when we get there, I guess.
That's tomorrow's problem.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. That's literally tomorrow's problem. The route we're going.
Yeah.
Son of a fucking. Oh, all right. Look, I'm Adam. This is the fucking Heavens Demons podcast.
Y'all be good out there, folks.
Y'all be safe.
Be safe. Be good. Be kind to each other. Until next week, guys. Deuces.
Later.